Hello, welcome to the next episode. Today my opponent will be 950 rated and I'm gonna play the Caro-Kann, even though it's not recommended against d4. I usually play it against e4, but I play it anyway and I tend to be fine regardless. So I'm gonna play the knight now. He's not allowing my bishop to go there, which is where I like it to go. I'm just gonna play bishop there instead. Got the double clicking style. Okay, he's pushing really hard right from the start. Okay, he's trying to lock in my bishop by this move here, so I need to create an escape square there. There we go. A lot of pawn movement right on. It's a bit scary. If he plays well, that can be turning out very bad for me. I need to take that because otherwise I'm gonna need to move my rook there, and it doesn't feel right. Gonna prevent this pony hop. It's a really annoying hop. I don't like it. Next is move this pawn in, move the knight there. Okay, he wants to move the knight there. Not really bothered by that. He needs to take, otherwise he will just... Oh no, not yet. Doesn't have to take just yet. After I move pony there, okay, so... okay, so he pushes yet again. Not a problem. I think I'm just gonna... move there. Oh, or I could move there because I'm threatening a check here, so that's a bit cheeky. That's good. Okay, he does not allow me that. Okay, I'm just gonna hop in the pony, complete my development. He's pushing very hard. There should be some mistakes that he's making here. Could hop the pony there, but then if he takes. Not a massive fan. Could play queen there, pin the pony, and then pressure the pawn. That's a good idea. Queen there, so I get some development on my queen. Then pony there. But after I move queen here, he's likely gonna play bishop there. And then I can play queen down to threaten this pawn. I like that. I don't mind that. I'm gonna play it. Okay, so now he's playing his own threat there. I think I can just push the pawn here, but now I'm really committing to kingside castling, and he already has pawns knocking on my door, so I need to be very, very careful doing that. It's a bit scary so far, I'm not gonna lie. I feel like playing this. Can he sacrifice? I'm not sure. I do just feel like putting pressure on the knight like this. But then this pawn will be hanging. I don't really feel like hanging this pawn. I also don't feel like covering this pawn in any way. So I think I'm just gonna play it. He's pushing pawns, I'm pushing pawns. Happy days. Yes, so now there is that move as expected. Now I cannot play this because he can just take and then boomerang back. Well, not even that, because I won't be taking that bishop. So now I will have to... I'm gonna just move. Well, if I move there, he's gonna play rook there. His rook will be in the same line as my queen. I am not a huge fan of that. I think I'm just gonna play there. It's not that great because it's a bit limited. But it looks like one of the only moves that makes any sense. If he pushes here, I need to take, otherwise I will get forked here. What an interesting game. It's... Oh, this is hanging now, actually. Okay, so I'm gonna take that. A pawn is a pawn in the end of the day, right? Yep. So hopefully he's gonna blunder with overcommitting his pawn so early. Okay, I do not need to address that just yet, I think. I think I'm just gonna develop my pony there, or do I want my pony... Where do I want the pony? Pony there, then there, then there. That seems like a reasonable square, but then... But then takes, maybe takes. Push, support. Hop pony there, that's strong. I like my pony there, because then I have pressure on there. It's gonna be that. Oh, I need to be careful though, because after this... If I then move the pony back, then this is loose, but I could play this here now and attack this pawn. I was also thinking to just push this. Push this, because then the pony here is stuck around this king. I'm gonna do that instead. I'm gonna develop the knight. And if he moves there, I'm just gonna support the pony Might be going completely wrong here, we'll have to find out. Here will be a pony move with tempo on the queen, so the queen will have to move. Okay, he pushes in here. Don't think I'm too scared of that though. If he takes, I'll take. Well, then he can take. It's not ideal. This is hanging though. Oh, that's a fork. I didn't even see that. That's just a fork. That will hit the queen and the rook. So I think that must be a good move, right? So by pushing all his pawns, he just hung 2 of them. So... Oh, and I have a reveal check. This is horrendous for him. Yeah, that's not only a fork, it's a reveal check on his king. So he's pretty much done from now on. I could go there, that's check. He cannot take because he's check, so he needs to address that check, and then I can take. And then his queen will go in that corner. Can also just take that with check, then check that, and that's pretty much the game. Yeah, that will be pretty much the game, I'm afraid. Let's see, no, that's a move. Oh no, that's not a move. That knight is defending that square. So easy to overlook a knight. That's also not a move because that's just there, and my knight's under attack. So I think the best move will have to be take, and then he could take that. Then I'll castle. Anyway, I'm +7, so it's I can just pick my favorite choice of winning now, I guess. There, well, I just lost a knight, so I'm just gonna take here. Yeah, he got a bit too excited with pushing all his pawns. They were not really connected. Okay, so he decides to go for that. Now this is hanging. I think I can just... I can play risky and just go there and just hang around this king with my queen, but then he will take there and he'll have some counterplay. Thinking when I castle and he pushes, is there any counterplay for him? I'm not afraid of that. I'm just gonna castle. Okay, that is just another pawn, I'm afraid. Well, that will hit the rook, and then that. Well, takes, he wins a pawn, and I trade material off the board. It's probably the safest way to finish this game. Now it takes that. Oh, if I had something supporting here, then I could just play queen here, and that will pin my queen to his queen. And that would be the easiest way to win. So I'm just going to play rook here, and if he's not careful on the next move, I will then play there, and then he is forced to queen trade, and from there it's just unwinnable for him. Yeah, that's what I thought. So now he has to take this queen. That was a pretty easy win. I mean, he was putting up a bit of pressure in the beginning with committing all these pawns. Well, now he does something you shouldn't do. When you are losing the game, you should not be trading material like this. See, because I'm up material, so after I take this, he will only have a knight versus a rook and a bishop, and it's just unwinnable. He should have kept that last rook on the game. Don't know if this is the best move. Maybe not. I don't know. Just doesn't really matter. Pick my favorite way to win from here. It's just a waste of time. He should really resign this game. Okay, I'm gonna mate a king here somewhere. I'm not even gonna bother queening any pawns. Okay, he pushes that pawn. I'll just go because this is supported. Okay, I just want to move my rook to this rank, then to this rank, and sweep his king all the way to the back rank, and then just go for a back rank mate. He's not playing, he might just let the timer die. If I don't know if that's going to be the case, but I'm not going to continue with... okay, he resigns. Game abandoned. Okay, good game. I may as well actually play another game because it was a fast game. So let me just do that. New game. My screen jumped to the left again, so I'll have to adjust the camera real quick. It always does that in between games. He just jumps. Okay, same game. I'm gonna play Trampowski attack again. Okay, same move. Interesting. Need to play that again. Because the problem is, I like to play bishop straight away, right? But the problem is, if he plays this, and now I play bishop immediately, if he then plays that, and then I go back, and then he plays that, and then I go back here, then my bishop is trapped, because these 3 pawns will be here in a row. Might be a bit difficult to see like this, but the reason I know this, and the reason I say this, because again, because I play this opening so often, I get used to the most common answers. And that's very important to get better in chess. Here is a... Does that work now? No, it doesn't, because this pawn is here. So this is a very tricky line. I think the right move is to play knight, the pawn there. He attacks here. Problem is, after takes, I can't take because my rook will be open. Because I really want to attack him here actually, and then takes, and then let's do that just for the sake of education. If he resigns. What was that? Maybe he just had to go or something. He really didn't have to resign that, because that may have been a mistake from me. I think after takes, I take. He cannot take back because I will take his rook, right? But he could have just moved the knight back as well. Then I take it and the game goes on. Anyway, now we are in the 1000 rating already, but we're just going to continue the video anyway. Okay, Caro-Kann. Can pre-move the first 3 moves. There we go. Now it's his turn again. Next move, I'm looking for a bishop there. Yep, bishop here. And again, it's just because I know the opening, and I don't even know the opening that deep, and I'm sure I even make a lot of mistakes during the opening, which are not considered the best moves to play in the opening. But I'm just familiar because I've been here so many times. That's why I always say, if you want to get to 1600 rating, just play the same openings. Pick 1 opening for white and 2 for black. 1 against e4, and 1 against d4. I'm good at drawing out arrows. Here I like to take. So if you do that, you take 1 opening for white, 2 openings for black, and then you just play them over and over again, and you learn to get to the middle of the game without blundering anything. It becomes quite easy to climb in rating, because you see, you'll just be playing your opening. I'm not trying to do any overextensive moves, right? I'm just developing my pieces. So in the Caro-Kann, it's very common that this pawn becomes weak. So I already have 1 attacker there. I can add another attacker here, and then I can add another attacker by doing that. So I'm going to do that first, because this is a bit slow. It takes 2 moves to get the attacker there. So if I can do it in 1 move is better. So now he doesn't see this coming. I'm going to do boom, attack. Yeah, see, attack now. And now he doesn't really have much options to defend this. This is an option, but after that I'll play that. And then the only other option will be knight back here, but it's not easy to find. And then closing the pawn up, and he should be fine. If he doesn't find those moves, he will be losing this pawn, and it's very easy to win the game from there. I won a lot of games by just winning that pawn, sometimes those 2 pawns. In the beginning we traded those off right here. But sometimes they don't. Sometimes they push here and then take this pawn here to support. And then you got these 2 pawns here, which look strong like he's pushing, but actually he's overextended, and he will not be able to defend those pawns. Unless he's just good at defending, and then it becomes a competitive game. Yeah, so we found that move. So now I'm going to add another attacker. And now he cannot play this anymore, because I will just take the pawn here. I mean, it's still playable, because then he can play rook over, then I need to move, then he can win my pawn here, and then it just becomes very messy. So therefore, I do not like to take that pawn. I used to do it in the past, but being greedy for that pawn often backfires. So now I have 1, 2, 3 attack. Okay, so he plays that. After I play this, I should be fine. Because after I play this, he has to do something to defend the knight. Aha, what he could play then, if he finds it, is pawn here. And then the queen will defend the knight, and the pawn will defend the other pawn, and that's actually not a bad move. I'm gonna try it. Play queen here. Probably gonna play that. If he plays anything else, you know, let's say he just moves the knight back, he's gonna lose the pawn. If he tries to defend, yeah, okay, so he did find it. Good move. I would like to play there. Obviously, I can't. I could go there. All of it is not that great, so I might just have to retweet my queen here. Retweet the queen here. Retreat, not retweet. And then retreat the queen, so I have an escape square there. And I'm losing time, so it's playing well, actually. Yeah, let me do that. I'm just gonna play queen, because I don't like to go there, because it's a risk at getting stuck, right? It's a bit of an awkward square for the queen. Bishop could go there. And I can get trapped, actually, after bishop there. Yeah, so I'm gonna need to go there. So now this is no longer a target, because he defended it with this, so that's good on him. Now this knight is stuck, though. It has no squares to go. I can go there. Yeah, it can go there, actually. So therefore, I could take here. Then he takes, and then play this. Because if then, okay, I'll do that. So, yeah, I'll take that. I'll do that. So I'm just gonna get a pawn ahead. It's not massive, but it's something. Now he's thinking if he should take like this or like this. Should probably take like this, yeah, to have an extra pawn in the center. But now I'm gonna hit him with this. And now his only move is knight there, and then, oh, of course it doesn't work for me. Because now I lose connection here, so this pawn will be pushed in. Interesting. I'm gonna get into an interesting game. After he played knight there, I don't know if I should take that anymore then. He has no choice in playing there. Oh, okay, oh no, that hangs a knight, unfortunately. Because after he takes, I'll take, so that was a blunder. See, there you have it. I didn't do much fancy, I just am familiar with the most answers to my opening, and at 1000 elo, they just blunder. They don't know how to. Okay, he's gonna win the pawn here. It's not bad, but then after the knight will be hanging, right? Do I even still need to worry about castling? Because we're actually entering the end game, the late game. So this is obviously coming. Oh, this is obviously coming. Doesn't make much sense, does it? Takes, then that, or then he has a reveal. I need to move my king. I don't have time. I need to make a king move. I think I need to go king there, and then after takes, knight there, knight there. Yeah, I have to do that, because otherwise my knight's gonna get pinned, and I don't really feel like that. I need to go there. Probably gonna play this. Then I need to play this to defend here, or this. Because then you could push again. Well, I need to develop my bishop, that's for sure. Where though? I think I'm gonna develop it here. Yep. If he wants to trade and win a pawn, be my guest, I'll just double defend it. Yeah, so that's not an end game that he can win. Wait, if I do this, this is an isolated pawn. If I do this, this is an isolated pawn, but at least the pawn is isolated in the center then, in the side. It's not as bad, I guess. Okay. I want to connect my rooks. I'm just gonna move forward. If he thinks about here, I'm just gonna go here and then... that was a bit slow. He could have gone there and won a pawn, I think. Yeah. This may have been a blunder, actually. Maybe not, who knows. I think instead of that king move, had he just gone there, then I would have to go there. I guess I could find a way out, but I'm just gonna bring my king in, go for these pawns. So in the end game, it's always about king activity. Who can get more king activity usually wins, because the king is... In the early game, the king is weak, but in the late game, the king is an absolute tank. All these 9 squares here, or 8 squares around the king, they're constantly occupied by the king, of course. So wherever the king moves, it's just a tank. Okay, so now this pawn is under fire. Okay, we'll defend like that. And now I'm just gonna try and invade with my rook. Need to be careful, of course, that these pawns don't start rolling too hard, because I can still lose. Because these 2 pawns are a majority against my 1 pawn. But I should be fine. Even if I have to sacrifice my bishop for a pawn, I can still win. Worst case, I'll have to draw my rook back. I'm not gonna go there yet, because then I'm really far from defending here. So it seems a bit scary. Okay, he stops committing to the attack. Now I'm gonna play this. Okay. Play this. Just keep forcing trades. Now I'm forcing this. Threatening that. Yeah, he messed it up. If he plays this, I can even sacrifice probably. Might have to do that. Otherwise, when I take, let's say steps, I'm gonna take, then steps again. Then I need to come back, then steps again. Then I need to come back, then steps again, and then I need to go there. And it's gonna get all a bit tricky. Playable though. Screw it, I can also just bring the bishop back to defend. I'm just gonna play it, screw it. Yeah. And I should be on time to defend this. And now these 2 pawns with my king, I can just start taking them. Okay, he's got no time for this. Now he's gonna keep his rook here. But I'm just gonna eat these pawns here. I'm gonna eat this pawn. Oh, it's a bit tricky now. It's a bit tricky. Play this. This bishop can always defend this rook then. See, he's gonna try a step to threaten my rook, but I'm just gonna defend like this. Okay, he's gonna take this pawn now. It's not a problem. Still a bit tricky though, still a bit tricky. Yeah, still a bit tricky though. Don't think I played this the best. Because I cannot give up this pawn. If I go there, he's just gonna go there, and then we can go for a draw. Let's see what he does if I play this. He's probably gonna go towards my rook. If I can just get this pawn past this bishop, I'm good. Because this bishop will always defend this rook. Okay, now he messed up, I think. Yeah, he messed up. Yeah, he messed up. Yeah, he messed up. Now this bishop can defend this pawn. And he's not even threatening with his king to take my rook, so... it's time for him to resign. And I'm just gonna step this guy in. He's too slow. He's not gonna be able to stop this pawn now. He's gonna have to give his rook to stop this pawn. Best move, resign. There was still a bit of hope before, but now I don't think I played correctly here before giving all these pawns to this king. I probably should have not done that. But in the end of the day, the idea was correct. I know if I just kept these two together, if I just kept his bishop staring at this, then the king cannot take the rook. So now he's going for that, but he's obviously too late. I don't even need to make a queen because it's too much risk on stalemate. So I'm just gonna make a rook. He's gonna block like that. Obviously he cannot take because he's in trouble then. Go there and attack here. If he tries to go for my rook, then I'll just defend it like that. And I'm gonna start sending this pawn down the boards. So now I can play that. And he's gonna lose this pawn, unfortunately. Let's check. Now he loses his last rook. And now I can just mate him on the back rank here. I'm gonna give him the bishop. And go there. It's the easiest way. This rook, well, I know I still have a pawn, but this rook and king endgame, let's say you only have a rook. I really had to learn that, and I learned it on lead chess by just doing the repetition. By going to the king and rook endgame and just redoing it. I had it pinned on my, how do you call that? My taskbar at the top here. Oh, you can't see that. So I just had it pinned in my browser, and every day I would do it a couple times just until I know. So because when you are low on time, it can be very tricky to do a rook and king mate. So it's very simple. You just want to sweep the king, always a rank down. So now, because his king is lined up with my king like that, they're looking at each other. Now I can play a rook down because my king is occupying these squares. So his only move is to go down. See, now he's forced to this rank. And I go there. He cannot go there now because this will be, that's mate. Because see, the king is occupying these squares. If I go there, he cannot go anywhere legally. So that's just checkmate. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the game, please consider giving a like. Bye.